COVID-19 has shown a bright light on our own society's failings. Our country's experience with COVID-19 has not only upended our own lives, but it has uncovered a stark reality and failing of our own society. The unacceptable disparities in health experienced by minority groups. Many members of minority groups have a much greater risk of COVID-19, often because of the nature of the jobs that many of them have as essential workers in society. The social determinants of health, dating back to disadvantageous conditions that some people of color find themselves in from birth, regarding the availability of an adequate diet, access to health care, and the undeniable effects of racism in our society. Let us promise ourselves that our corporate memory of this tragic reality, that an infectious disease disparately hospitalizes and kills people of color, does not fade after we return to some form of normality. Righting this wrong will take a decades-long commitment. I strongly urge you to be part of that commitment.
I mean, obviously, the African-American community has suffered from racism for a very, very long period of time. And I cannot imagine that that has not contributed to the conditions that they find themselves in.
It's the minority population, the brown and black people, who are the ones that suffer most from the disease that you're trying to prevent. What we've been trying to do, and I take this very seriously, is extend yourself to the African American and Latinx population and explain to them that we totally respect why you're being hesitant.
We want, as much as anything, for social justice to take the center stage, because poverty, racism, they have actually bigger killers than coronavirus by the statistics. So this is the right thing to do. I was out with other physicians and nurses in Seattle over the weekend where we had a Doctors for Justice march. And what were we doing? We were passing out masks. We're making sure if you didn't have a mask and you had a megaphone, you were protected. Masks all the time. Social distancing as you can do it. I will say we should all be expected that cases are going to rise.
Well, so much for social distancing. This weekend, we saw massive crowds gather nationwide protesting the death of George Floyd. And despite weeks of warning people about the dangers of not keeping 6 feet apart, public health officials are now saying social justice matters more than social distancing and are actually encouraging people to join protests.
Some questions this morning about why people can protest in large groups but not pray or sunbathe for that matter.
Another night and another show of outrage on America's streets. Protesters' principles on display as a pandemic deepens.
The racism thing is going to take a long time to address that. And it's understandable, people's impatience. I'm certainly impatient about it.